Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to your Akim out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Raya with another video. And this video is going to be an exhortation against you proud American Edomites who clearly have your head in the sand because you think America's going to go on forever, that there's going to be a Make America Great Again, and that America's going to be remembered as this shining beacon of hope for humanity. But with the precepts I'll be getting for this video, you'll see that's clearly not the case. The only thing America has to look forward to is being destroyed from sea to shining sea by nuclear missiles and the chariots and the laser beams from the chariots of the Most High, which people ignorantly refer to as so-called UFOs. They're going to turn this place into the biblical lake of fire, and after that destruction, America, that wasteland that once was America, is just going to stand as a memorial as to what a wicked kingdom looked like and how not to govern the world. But the first article I'll be reading from is on antiwar.com, and the title reads, Pompeo says the U.S. is forming a new liberal world order. Says the new order will confront Russia, China, and Iran. Arguing that President Trump is working appropriately to confront bad actors and to exercise American global leadership, which is complete BS because the only thing America exercises is global terrorism. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo delivered a major policy speech declaring Trump to be forging a new liberal world order that would drive Western civilization forward, which is just code for Edomite supremacy. Much like past such American efforts, this newest of world orders is envisioned chiefly for the purpose of picking fights with nations the U.S. perceives as rivals or enemies. Singled out in the speech were Russia, China, and Iran. So it's Western civilization against the world once again, and this time more than ever, the U.S. wants to make sure they are given unconditional dominance over the efforts so as to eschew any international objections. And the U.S. government, as well as these other governments around the world, concede that the U.S. is in its twilight hours of rulership. That's why you've got the U.S. Making statements like this, flexing its muscles to show that it's still the big bully on the block that can get everybody to go along with its whims. And I'm going to just jump down to the last paragraph. Pompeo concluded that U.S. unilateralism is going to reform the world in a proper U.S.-driven image, saying America will lead now and always, and that international bodies need to reform themselves to help the U.S. goals or be eliminated. And I'm going to go to my first precept in Obadiah. I'm going to start at verse 1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahweh concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. While these other nations of people hate you European Edomites as much as you the American Edomites, their chief concern is with you American Edomites right now because of your meddling in their countries over the past several decades with American adventurism, such as going into these other countries, throwing over their democratically elected governments and setting up puppet governments that follow U.S. dictates and allow the U.S. to plunder that nation's resources, which goes to show America doesn't believe in democracy to begin with. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And what did Pompeo say? America will lead now and always. But in the words of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and who's known for having a bald eagle as their symbol, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, right now America has the world under its subjection, even though that power is quickly feigning, and also this refers to America's low-orbit space stations, its satellites, as well as its air force. Thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh, because we're getting to the end of the usefulness of America, also known as Babylon the Great in the Scriptures. It's just about fulfilled all its need that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai had for it, What we're just waiting for now is the mandatory implementation of the mark of the beast, which is that microchip implant. And shortly after that, it's going to be a wrap. Yahushua is going to return with the angels to save his elect and put the kibosh on this place. Now I'm going to go to Isaiah chapter 47. I'm going to read verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. And again, this is speaking of America. And the reason it's called the virgin daughter is because there's never been a major war on this land. The most you ever had was the Revolutionary War, the War of 1812, and the Civil War, which really just dealt with muskets and cannonballs. There's never been a modern army with a modern air force that's invaded this country, but that's about to change very shortly. You've already got Chinese and Russian troops embedded in this country, and everybody's just waiting for the go-ahead to make their move. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Now I'm going to jump to verse 7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. Again, what Pompeo said, America's going to lead now and forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it, that America is going to be attacked by not only its enemies, but its allies as well. And it's all going to culminate with them shooting their nuclear missiles onto this place. As it says in Jeremiah 50, verse 9, For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country. And this north country is referring to Russia. And that assembly of great nations is speaking of China, North Korea, Pakistan, India, Iran, and also the U.S.'s allies, such as those NATO and EU member states, such as Germany, France, England, what have you. And I mean, the Europeans are already talking about how they need to get away from American dependence, as it says in this other article I've got on ZeroHedge.com titled, EU Army France Right Control Vehicles Bearing EU Flags Stoke Speculation Over a New EU Army. And I'm not going to read the whole article, I'm just going to read these last few paragraphs. The notion of an EU army is not new, as both French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Angela Merkel have both floated the idea. In November, Merkel said the days where we can unconditionally rely on others are gone, adding, we should work on a vision to create a real European army one day. Stressing that such an army would not be against NATO, but complement it, the Chancellor also proposed a European Security Council with rotating seats for member states that would make speedy foreign policy decisions without the need for unanimity. In early November, Macron told France's Europe 1 radio that Europeans cannot be protected without a true European army. I believe in the project of a sovereign Europe, said Macron, adding, we won't protect Europe if we don't decide to have a true European army in front of Russia, which is at our borders and which can be threatening. I would like to start a security dialogue with Russia, which is a country I respect and which is European. What he's pretty much is saying is we can't rely on the U.S., as he'll pretty much state in the next paragraph. President Macron has already warned that Europeans can no longer rely on the U.S. to defend them, and he revived the theme on Tuesday in response to President Trump's decision to pull out of a 1987 nuclear treaty with Russia, banning medium-range ground-launched missiles. And while a lot of Americans aren't taking this to heart, those European Edomites are, because they're going to be on the front lines of a nuclear strike when the U.S. and Russia starts exchanging nuclear missile fire. Who is the main victim? Europe and its security, he told French radio station Europe 1. I want to build a real security dialogue with, again, Russia, which is a country I respect, a European country, but we must have a Europe that can defend itself on its own without relying on the United States. Now back in Jeremiah 50 and 9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations, including France from the north country, Russia, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And those arrows are speaking of those nuclear-tipped ICBMs, because the nuclear missiles are referred to symbolically in the scriptures as arrows, flying swords, or what have you. And you're going to see this come to pass after that microchip implant, which is the mark of the beast, is mandatorily implemented. And after that chip's been implemented, as I said at the beginning of the video, America's going to be turned into that biblical lake of fire. Now I'm going to close it out with Isaiah chapter 13, verse 19 through 20. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And America is referred to as a spiritual Sodom and Egypt in Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. And the reason it's referred to as Sodom and Gomorrah is what was Sodom and Gomorrah known for? Wickedness, especially homosexuality and transgenderism and all that madness. And that's the chief thing America's pushing right now. And how was that original Sodom and Gomorrah overthrown by fire and brimstone from the sky? And this modern day Sodom and Gomorrah is going to be destroyed by that modern fire and brimstone, those flying arrows, those nuclear tipped ICBMs. Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. And after this place has been wiped off the map, it's just going to be a wasteland where no man's ever going to set foot again. The only thing that's going to be here is desert creatures. So there definitely is not going to be no Make America Great Again. And you Akim out there, as you can see, if you're keeping your eyes on the news and the scriptures, we're getting closer and closer to the fulfillments of these major prophecies. We're just going to see the destruction of this wicked kingdom America and our salvation from it, and the beginning of our eternal rulership in the kingdom. You had Apostle Tahar deem the year 2019 to be the year that Esau really pushes for the chip. So with that, I'm going to say Ababa Ball, Kwam Yasharala. Until next time, Shalom.